What's good, YouTube? It's Ray Drill. So in today's video, I want to show you guys my favorite base defense in Madden 24. So if you enjoy this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go in and sub and turn those post notifications on. So I am in the Patriots defensive playbook. Again, I'm in the Patriots defensive playbook. Now you guys all know this formation by now, 4-3 even 6-1. I'm gonna just show you some other setups that you probably haven't seen before, and it actually works extremely good. And also I have a full defensive gameplay for you guys to show you exactly how this scheme looks versus an actual opponent, you know. And I just like to show you from after I pick the play, you'll see my setups, and then you'll see how those setups look versus what my opponent's running. So make sure you stick around to that. So this video is not going to be that long. I don't plan on it to be. Now, one thing I do want to say before I hop into it is that I have ebooks. Those ebooks are on my website, allthingsmadden.com. The link to that is in the description. Now, last thing I promise you, I just want to update you guys. So my fiance actually lost her dad. So basically, as you guys know, my father-in-law did pass. So it's kind of been trying to make sure I keep her afloat, keep myself afloat, and also keep the YouTube channel going. So it's just been kind of hard. So I will be pumping out more content. I just ask you guys to be patient with me, and I truly appreciate you guys. Seriously, I appreciate y'all. But anyways, let's go and hop into it. So as far as the audibles, I like having this cover 2 man, then Sam Blitz 3, cover 4 quarters, and cover 3 buzz as far as the audibles. Now I'm using the Patriots specifically because they're the only ones that have this Tampa 2, and also I think they're the only ones that have the Sam Blitz 3. So I really love running these two, and then cover 4 quarters. And if I want to use man, I'll run cover 2 man, or I'll just use cover 1 hold, just depends. So those are kind of the rotation of plays I love. So I'm gonna actually come out in Tampa 2. So like I said, I'm not gonna spend that much time in practice mode with you guys. We'll probably just call some random play because it really doesn't matter, to be real. You know, actually I want to show you something. So I'm gonna sit in one formation because I only want to show you guys these kind of blitzes and how they come in and everything. So when you see the gameplay, you'll see how it looks versus other formations, but for now I just want to use this kind of as a base formation. So let's just do a basic spread formation, and let's just send everybody out on routes, because again, I'm only doing this to show you the base of the defense, how I love to use this within a scheme. So I love to come out in Tampa 2. Now a couple things I like to do is I like to pinch my line. Now I can either do 2 different things, and I'm gonna show you in a second. So first and foremost, if you kind of want a basic blitz, I like to actually shift my linebackers. Now when you shift them left, this guy is going to move over here also. So you got 2 options. So a lot of times when I shift the linebacker left, I like to go ahead and blitz. It depends on the formation. So in this formation, I actually would just blitz this guy right here, and I would actually use him. Now, why is that, bro? So the reason why is because this is actually their strong side of the formation. So they have 3 potential threats that can get the ball. So I would want to use her here, if that makes sense. Now I can blitz this guy too, and the blitz that I'm about to show you is still going to come in. But you just have to keep in mind, on the snap of the ball, you have to take your user. You're going to have to go cover all the way over here. So you don't really want to set yourself up like that. So basically, when you shift your linebackers, your linebacker is going to naturally go to this side. So I like to grab this guy right here. Now, wherever you shift your linebackers, you want to slide your line to the opposite way. So since I shifted my linebackers to the left, I want to slide my line to the right. So it should look like this right here. So I slide my line to the left because my looper is coming into the right, if that makes sense. So I shifted my linebackers left, and I slide them the same direction. I said it backwards, my fault. But anyways, this is what it looks like. Notice my line, they're sliding to the left, and he's already going to be blitzing angle to the left. So when you do that, you want to actually hold the attention of 79, and what's going to happen is we're actually going to have a 5-man loop come in, and as long as that running back's not blocked, we're going to come in literally every single time. So literally every single time. This works no matter what play you call inside of this formation, which is why I like to alternate between plays. But essentially at the core of the scheme, this is all that it is. It's just simply, we're just going to confuse the offensive linemen. So notice how when we slide our line to the left, they all take a left side, and basically we're glitching out 60 and 66 basically. So we're just giving them kind of false reads, and it's causing confusion among 64, and we're kind of glitching out 79 by ourselves by just having a blitz angle. So as you can tell, every time the running back goes out, you're basically going to have a looper. So a couple ways I like to blitz. So we either go that way. So I'm going to show you that again. So again, you want to pinch your line, shift your linebackers to the left. And if you're going to shift them left, we can either blitz this guy or we can blitz him. It's up to you, whichever one. But your line, so I shifted my linebackers to the left. So I want to slide my line, slant my line to the left. Now, sometimes you got to do it twice for it to lock it in. And if you do that, you want to get on the guy that's not blitzing, and then I like to just hover this guy right here, and then you're going to see that we're basically just going to get an A gap literally every single time. So just to kind of show you some more things. So we're going to pinch our line. Now let's say we wanted to shift our linebackers this way. So notice how only one linebacker moved. If you want to do it that way to have both of them, you will need to baseline. Normally you have to baseline in shotgun formations. Notice when I baseline, that linebacker now comes over here, and now it looks like the same thing that we had before, where we're going to blitz this guy. And since we shifted our linebackers to the right, guess what side we're going to slant our line to? We're going to slant our line to the right over here. Now, doing it this way isn't as effective. So some things I like to do is either stand right here, or I'll take my user and I'll actually come stand right here, which actually helps out against the run too. So whichever you want to, it's completely up to you. You just want to hover somebody, and if you do it correctly, you're still going to get somebody through, but doing it this way is not as consistent. So you'll kind of learn as you use this defense. And again, you don't have to do this. It's just something that I found that I like to do. Now you also can just bump him regular and then blitz him. And then if you want to, just come in and use this guy and grab him if you want to. So there's a couple things you can do. Like I said, we'll slam him to the right because we shifted our linebackers to the right. And if you're going to do this, just kind of hold this gap right here and just notice how we're going to get kind of a bull rush animation. So it's one of those things where in practice mode it doesn't scream that much, but in game you'll find it coming in more often than not. So again, I want to show you the hardest one, which is what I just showed you. So you can do it that way, and you can blitz this guy here, and you can use him to hover. Like I said, it literally just depends on how you want to do it. So I slanted him to the right only because I shifted my linebackers to the right. And then we're going to snap the ball, and then as you can tell, we're going to get him coming scot-free. So again, that's just one setup, like one little scheme, and I can do this out of anything. So just to show you that's true, so let's take a look at Sam Blitz 3 real quick, and just kind of notice if we do the same thing where we slide our linebackers. Maybe we come here, and you don't have to do this at all. So even if you don't want to like pinch your line, you don't have to. You can just run it stock. It's just that it doesn't come in as smoothly so as you slide your line. So that's one way to run it. Now you also have the option, if you're going to do the Sam Blitz 3, you literally could just pinch your line and then that's it, like legit. As long as you grab the attention of somebody, you'll get somebody that comes free. Now again, in practice mode it doesn't come in smooth, but in game you'll find it coming in a lot more smooth. But that's one way I like to do it too. Now another thing I love to do, it out of if I'm going to do Sam Blitz 3, another setup that I love is I'm a baseline to bring that guy a little bit in closer, pinch my line, and I'm a globally blitz my linebacker. So to do that, I'm gonna press the right directional, slant down to blitz all, and I like to do a setup like this. Now, if I'm gonna do a setup like this, you notice how we have two receivers here on the backside, and we have two defensive backs. We're basically gonna just man them up. If you're fast at your adjustments, I would do it just like this, and then you're basically gonna be responsible for all of the middle of the field. But we're guaranteed pressure with this setup, even if they block their running back, because it's just a numbers game. Now I'm gonna block my running back this time just to kind of show you, but it's literally just a numbers game, is the fact that we'll get somebody coming through. So literally everybody's on a one-on-one block with that. Now last thing I wanted to show you that I did forget is, if you're gonna do that setup where we're gonna blitz everybody, go ahead and pinch your line inside. So go ahead and crash them in, and when you crash them in, and then you we're gonna go ahead and re-man up, and you don't have to man up if you want to. So if you want to, you can run it this way too, where we only man up that solo side. So I like to play around with man coverage, as you guys can tell. So again, if you pinch them inside, notice what type of pressure we're gonna get, and that's pretty much gonna be the nutshell of that blitz. So again, last thing I want to show you before we get into gameplay, to where you see more of the coverage breakdown, is setups that look like this, where we're gonna actually pinch our line, and then we're gonna use basically this cover 4 quarters, and I like to call underneath whenever I do this. Now if they're driving the ball down the field or they're running the ball, I like to actually show blitz, and then when I show blitz, to do that you just press triangle and left one directional. Last thing I like to do is I like to manually back off my cornerbacks but leave my safeties where they are, and to do that you just press triangle, you press X for individual, and you just whatever cornerback you want to back off, just hit the receiver that's over him. So if I want to back off the receiver covering Gabe Davis, which is G Davis, I'll hit circle and then press up for back off, right? So just I want you to know that you have that option. So now look at our safeties, notice how they're more down inside, and our cornerbacks are more, further back. So just a couple things I like to do out of this. Now other things I like to do too is I'll blitz the backside. So right now Square is on a blitz. I know it doesn't look like it, but he's on a blitz, and you just want to grab the center's attention. That's one thing I like to do. And then boom, we're gonna get the I can't talk. We're gonna get the pressure off the edge. So as you can tell, I just spent 10 minutes showing you guys a whole lot of different blitzes, and I probably didn't even mention that many that was the meta blitzes or the meta setup. So there is just so much that you can do out of this defense. So this is just kind of how I like to run it. So we're just going to play nothing but mind games with our opponent. Either we're going to drop everybody back or we're going to send an all-out blitz. Now, last thing I want to talk about before I get into gameplay is kind of how I would do a max coverage style of defense. All I'll do is go to cover 4 quarters. And again, you can do zone drops. I'm not about to get into that. You can do zone drops however you see fit. And what I would do is I'll crash my defensive line. This is the meta setup you guys know, where you crash them in. And now I'll play underneath, or I'll turn them to clouds. Or if I want to play just a kind of base coverage, I'll take square and I'll actually put him in a vertical hook. And whatever side I put in the vertical hook, I'm going to kind of use it from in the middle all the way over to the flats. So that's one way to do it. Or another way I'll do it is I'll take square and I'll put him on the quarterback spot from over there. And when the ball snapped, I'm actually responsible now for covering over here, if that makes sense. So there's a kind of, as you can tell, I kind of like to do a disguise where, you know, we come here, maybe we fly out to the flats. And then as you can tell, that's kind of how it would look to where, you know, that quarterback spot, that quarterback spy, you know, might be able to get some work. So those are just kind of like the rotate between max pro style defenses, like max coverage basically. So can't tell you how many picks you're going to get here if you just actually just take off and shoot to the flats. A lot of times they'll throw this, and a lot of times if you have a fast enough player, you can just actually get the pick. So as far as personnel, last thing is you want to make sure you have your fastest linebacker here, wherever that is. Now out here, you want to have your best middle linebacker, and I would say your other best middle linebacker here. And I like to put my outside linebackers where these two are, where he is and where he is. So again, just as a quick recap, you want to make sure your fastest linebacker is your user. Sadly, you can't put a safety here. You want to make sure your fastest athlete who can get out there and cover. So maybe it could be an outside linebacker, but somebody who can cover extremely well. You don't want to have your best pass rusher out here. So make sure you're careful about that. So best outside linebacker goes there, or middle. Best outside or middle, and you want somebody who can cover. So not necessarily speed demons, but somebody who can just get out there and cover. And kind of make a play if they need to. So kind of average overall. Now down here it depends on you. I like pass rush, so you can put your best pass rushers / outside linebackers who pass rush here, and then put them here. So coverage on the outside, pass rushers on the inside, and then of course go crazy with them 2 defensive linemen. So anyways, wanted to make sure I went in depth on personnel, but let's go in and check out this quick gameplay. Alright y'all, so I wanted to condense this down so it's full defensive gameplay, but you're going to see basically every single snap, and it's about 7 minutes long, so just kind of giving you a rough estimate of how long this is. So I'm going to be kind of talking about it, kind of going through my mindset while playing this. And also the reason I wanted to show you this gameplay is because I want you to see just how long things take to set up. So a lot of times, you know, people tell you like, hey, you'll never have time to do this, or you'll never have enough time to set everything up, you'll never have enough time. What if they quick snap you? So I would love to kind of every now and again show you guys just actual gameplay, even where you see me set up, just so you can see that it doesn't take long to set up. And everything that you see me doing in this game is literally what I just walked you through in practice mode. It's some variation of what I just walked you through. So if you just kind of wanted to see how it looks, this is exactly what I do. All right, so right here, our opponent's going to hit a little play action. Now, I didn't expect him to actually just only have 2 people out on the routes. So that was actually a great play by my opponent to the degree I wasn't expecting. Now, notice the linebacker shift, and notice where we slant our line. And also the thing I didn't talk about is that actually happens a lot, to where we have a linebacker that you slide over, actually make a play on the run. So don't be surprised when you see that happen a lot. So right there, my opponent is going to go underneath, but if he wants to throw 2-yard drag routes, I have 0 problem giving that up, 0. So right here, we got 37, and look at where I slide my line at, right? And also, I love playing opponents who actually kind of do adjustments. It allows me to have time to adjust. And if you notice, look at our looper. He actually came through untouched. This is why I'm telling you guys, if you use the variation of blitzes that I showed you, you're going to be able to have your dominant scheme. Now, right there, my opponent throws a great dot to Juwan Jennings. I wasn't able to get back on my user. So sometimes you will struggle with this defense. Sometimes getting back to your user, depending on how fast you are with adjustments and, you know, what type of adjustments you're trying to do. So I'm trying to get better at not over adjusting. And even in this game, you're going to see I still do a lot of over adjusting. Right there, I feel like I would have got the pick. I don't know why he throws that, but anyway, we're able to make a play. So we got 2nd and 10 here. I like actually switching up where our user at, especially with this type of defense where we have so many people in the box for the run. and your opponent's going to be so used to using a linebacker that a lot of times you help yourselves out. So right here, this is kind of like my goal line look, but right there was my fault. Deebo Samuel actually just got straight off of, you know, the linebacker, which is to be expected. Now, right here, I just wanted to show you guys. So I like you to be able to follow the flow of the game. And right here, we're going to get a great kickoff return right there for the touchdown. We're going to be able to get away from him, and we get some points on the board. So I like showing you guys these type of things so that way you can kind of progress with me through the game as if you were playing it. That's just personally how I like to do things. But right here, I decided to go with this cover 3, Sam, Mike, Will 3, I believe. And you always, one thing I wanted to mention is, don't be scared to pass commit. So if they're in these under center formations, go ahead and pass commit, because you have people in the box. You have enough linebackers on the field to where if you pass commit and they run the ball, it's not that big of a deal. Now, there's sometimes if they're just running the ball just crazy effective on you, then you don't want to do it, okay? You'll see that here in a second. But again, don't be scared to send the blitz even if they're under center formation. And as you could tell, they're going to have to block a running back most of the time to be able to, you know, stop that. So right there was completely my fault. I didn't have enough time to set up. I was over adjusting, and that's one thing that I am bad at, is over adjusting. That's something I actively work on, to be honest with you guys. So most of my touchdowns you see me give up most of the time is something with over adjusting, and every now and again when games are close, it's because of that. Got an unfortunate animation. I had who I wanted open, just, you know, fumbled, ran out of time. It is what it is. But right here, that's why you want to pass commit right there, because if you pass commit, that's going to happen every single time. So I love to alternate between the cover 3 and really the cover 2 and the cover 4 drop. Those are my favorite to alternate between. And every now and again, I like to come out and run just standard man coverage all across the board. Or I like to mix in a couple man with zone looks. So right here, we're kind of mixing in man and zone where I manned up the drag. He got toasted in the man, but that's fine because we're still able to get the pressure that we wanted. And that's why this defense is so good, because we have the ability to send the pressure if we need to. So right here, we got 1st and 10. And again, anytime that linebacker is going to slide, we're going to slant our line the opposite way so we can actually guarantee, I can say guarantee, but we will give ourselves the best chance. So right here, kind of watch that looper. Notice how he goes around and then he's going to wrap around, and that gives our defense time to be able to stick on their coverage. So this blitz, they're going to have to block their running back, but we don't have to send it every single play. As you notice right there, he didn't get through, but that's okay because we're able to clean up the tackles. So you're not going to give up the chunk plays a lot of times with this defense if you're, you know, not over adjusting. That's really the only time. It's right there. I know it looked open, but that's how they play it this year in cover 3. So there's a lot of things that's different. You're gonna swear there was open, but it's like this year they force you to have to take your time to try to make reads and to take your time. They try to limit you on how quick you can throw the ball. So I agree, it's kind of crazy, but you know, it's the game we play. Right there, I ain't gonna lie, that was a really great read by him. I thought for sure he was going to throw his first read, so really great read by my opponent. And every now and again that happens with this defense because we have a lot of linebackers on the field, so we're just banking on the fact of our blitz is just going to get home, or our 4 people, if we rush 4, is just going to get home. So we can't expect linebackers to be out there covering receivers. It just don't work that way. So you're just going to have to guarantee that pressure gets to us. Right there, we almost got the A gap, but we weren't able to do it. But that's what's great about this defense, is that your opponent is just not going to have that much time in the pocket, you know, by design. So right here's a little bit of aggressive play. That was the only place he could throw that ball, and he made an excellent read. So that was a really great read by my opponent. So right here, I wanted to show you guys, you can use this as goal line defense, okay? You can use it as goal. I may do a video specifically on what you guys are seeing right now, and I may run it back and just go more in detail on another video. But basically, it's a man coverage blitz out of this formation where it plays excellent goal line defense as far as man coverage. And they also do great if they want to try to scramble out. There's things you can do. Notice I'm using a safety. I'm leaving that linebacker alone. When you use the safeties in the goal line, it's extremely great. We were able to get the goal line stand basically from just playing great defense. So I may go into that in more detail. Y'all just have to let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. So right here, take a look at this. This is why you keep calling your pass commit. So when you set up these blitzes, I'm telling you, make sure you save enough time to pass commit, and that's going to happen about every single time. So notice right here how we're just kind of blanking in them, you know, not really much to go with this. So it's gonna be 3rd and 26, and keep in mind you can move whatever linebacker you want to, shift them whichever way. You don't have to keep using that linebacker, you know. And unfortunately, when you start coming in, you know, hot all the time, you're gonna have yourself a frustrated opponent. But anyways, that's a wrap it up for this video though. I do hope you have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out. Peace.